5-man Supreme Court bench rule in favour of Peter O'Neill. Opposition ready for December 14th Parliament sitting. And Matthew Church says opportunities are abound for hunters.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Seah.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for National EMTV News. The 2021 national budget passed by Parliament on November 17th without the presence of opposition members was declared by the Supreme Court as unconstitutional, invalid and ineffective. The High Court ordered that Parliament reconvene on Monday 14th December after finding the Speaker's decision to recall Parliament unconstitutional. A 5-man Supreme Court bench ruled in favour of former Prime Minister Peter O'Neill, who challenged the Speaker's recalling of Parliament on the 16th of November and subsequently the sitting on the 17th that led to the passing of the now invalid 2021 national budget.
After almost 4 weeks and the Supreme Court has ruled in favour of the former Prime Minister, Peter O'Neill, and members of the opposition. 4 issues raised in these proceedings include whether the Parliament's decision on November 13th to adjourn Parliament to 1st December based on a motion without notice by the opposition leader, Belden Nama, was constitutional, whether the Speaker's decision on November 16th to overrule the decision made by Deputy Speaker to grant leave to the opposition leader to move a motion to adjourn Parliament to December 1st was unconstitutional, whether the Parliament meeting on November 17th was unconstitutional, whether decisions of the Parliament made at its meeting on November 17th were constitutional and valid. This included the decision to adjourn Parliament from December 1st, 2020 to 28th of April 2021 and the passing of the 2021 budget. Submissions were completed last week. Today, the Supreme Court declared that the passing of the 2021 national government budget on the 17th of November was unconstitutional, invalid and ineffective. This now means Parliament will have to sit to vote on the 2021 national budget with members of the opposition present. The 9 orders of the court are that Parliament will reconvene on Monday, December 14th. The Speaker's decision to recall Parliament on November 17th and the sitting of Parliament on November 17th are unconstitutional, invalid and ineffective, and Speaker Job Pomat and Parliament Clerk Kala Alpha shall do all things necessary to sit on December 14th at 10 a.m. Outside the courthouse, applicant Peter O'Neill said the decision was clear and Parliament should be recalled next Monday.
Today's decision by the Supreme Court is very, very clear that the Parliament must resume and it must proceed with integrity and it must proceed with a lot of fairness in its proceedings. That is why the Speaker's decision on the 16th of November was wrong and illegal, and court has found that to be the case. We will now, of course, resume Parliament on the 14th of December. We look forward to dealing with all the parliamentary issues on that day. But let me assure you, the Speaker has been illegally advised, and of course, the Speaker himself is a very decent man. He was a member of my party for 15 years. And his conduct has been, of course, encouraged by many behind the scenes. And I understand that he will do the honourable thing, and that is that the Parliament must be allowed to operate in a manner that is expected of our democracy and our Westminster style of government in our country.
We welcome the decision. We are ready for 14th of December to go into Parliament. I asked the Speaker of Parliament to do the right thing. He has asked for it. He wanted the court to order him. The court has now made a decision and made the order accordingly. that the Parliament be recalled at 10 a.m. on the 14th of December. So as far as the team Vanimo who are camped at the Crown Hotel is concerned, we are ready to deliver the government to the people of Papua New Guinea.
Meanwhile, in an earlier interview with Prime Minister James Marape, on his comments on what actions his government will take should the Supreme Court rule that Parliament be recalled, this was his response.
If, for instance, tomorrow we go to court and the court tells us, go back and sit Parliament on the 1st, I'll be the first one to go back and sit on the 1st.
Thakla Gunga, National EMTV News.
While the country cannot expect a change of Prime Minister on Monday when Parliament sits, the court decision today does pave way for a notice of motion of no confidence to be lodged on Monday by the opposition. Opposition is yet to name an alternate Prime Minister, but they are confident to deliver a new government by the end of the year. Former Prime Minister Peter O'Neill and opposition leader Belden Nama said the opposition is ready to go in for the December 14 sitting as directed by the court.
Applicant in this matter and former Prime Minister Peter O'Neill looks forward to the 14th of December following this morning's decision by the Supreme Court.
We will now, of course, resume Parliament on the 14th of December. We look forward to dealing with all the parliamentary issues on that day.
Opposition leader Belden Nama is also confident they can push their agenda to overthrow the Marape government when Parliament resumes.
We welcome the decision. We are ready for 14th of December to go into Parliament. As far as the team Vanimo who are camped at the Crown Hotel is concerned, we are ready to deliver the government to the people of Papua New Guinea.
He claims the opposition has the majority of 55 members and hopes to achieve a change of government soon.
We have the majority already. 55 is majority. What majority are we looking for? We will give the people of this country a Christmas present. Thank you.
The court today recognized the Parliament sitting of November 13th, meaning the appointment of the Parliamentary Private Business Committee by the majority opposition then remains. But Prime Minister James Marape also claims to have 55 members in his Loloata camp. Marape, in a post on his Facebook page following the court's decision this morning, said he is blessed to have 55 MPs with him and challenged opposition to bring the vote of no confidence motion on. EMTV News understands there are now 109 members of Parliament in active duties, excluding the Bougainville regional seat and Mosby Northwest seat where Sam Makarey is sick and is overseas seeking medical treatment. But with both factions claiming to have 55 MPs, that brings the total number of MPs to 110, so one is left questioning where the extra number is coming from. However, both Nama and O'Neill also called for Prime Minister James Marape's resignation on grounds that he was leading a minority government.
And the democratic way to conduct itself is for the Prime Minister to admit that he has got no numbers to conduct himself in government. He runs a minority government. In May 2019, when we lost government, we had a minority government at that time, and he asked us to resign. We resigned. He has to do the honourable thing before Parliament resumes on the 14th of December.
I am now calling on Honourable James Marape to do the right thing by the people of this country, to resign as the Prime Minister, effective as of today.
Again to this, Marape says there is no ground for resigning and they should test their numbers on the floor of Parliament. Meantime, the opposition has called on the Speaker to follow the court orders of today to convene Parliament on the 14th as directed by the courts, with days remaining before the next Parliament sitting. Horse trading is expected to intensify in the days ahead as both factions claim equal number of MPs in their respective camps. Ruth Rungula, National EMTV News.
The PNG Council of Churches has expressed concern over the current political impasse whilst at a church leaders summit aimed at fighting corruption and ending gender-based violence in the country. Secretary General Reverend Roger Joseph told EMTV News this afternoon that the period leading up to Christmas is meant to be peaceful and politicians need to respect that. Reverend Joseph also urged Christians around the country to pray for the nation in light of the political impasse, whilst acknowledging the ruling by the Supreme Court this morning to recall Parliament on December 14.
I think that's the only opportunity to settle what they have already displaced. And I think that's the opportunity for them. And we pray that they will make the right decisions so that the people are not further disturbed, further, their rights are not violated anymore, and they are at peace. But I think to end, this is the season where peace had been granted to the whole world. And we want that peace to prevail among our communities and within our people. So we really need that peace to be with us, and that's what we must be praying for.
You're watching National EMTV News. We'll have more of the day's stories after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Police have charged a man under the Money Laundering Act 2015 as investigations continue. Robert Ralewa, a former CEO of Asian Pacific Insurance Broker, is believed to have defrauded more than 1 million kina via internet banking facility from Henry Curran Kiddy accountants and consultants. The transaction was facilitated to his personal account through Bank South Pacific. He was arrested this morning by police, charged and released on bail. Ralewa will appear before the Waigani Committal Court on Monday, December 14, 2020. The Kunabao EBC High School in Chimbu Province has invested in ICT services for its students to have access to information. The 5-year-old high school is ahead of other schools in the province as well as the country in setting up its network mast or tower for e-library purposes. They launched their e-library during the 4th grade 10 graduation yesterday.
It was the idea of the Chimbu provincial government for schools in the province to set up ICT services to invest in human resource development. Kunabao EBC High School Board has taken on board the idea and turned it into reality by setting up its own ICT service.
And it has costed 74,000 plus for the school. And we have been really totally reliant on TFF alone with parental support school fees. I would like to now appeal to the provincial government and the Simbu Education Board to really support this kind of idea. I know schools are starting up this, but with lack of funding, this kind of ideas will never progress. And you're talking about human resource development. This is what we are trying to achieve. So help us achieve this by funding.
The school is aiming to go paperless in the next 5 years. For head teacher Ms. Y. Tombe, she wants to see students in rural areas have access to information like students in towns and cities. Situated in a semi-rural setting, Kunabao EBC High School has trouble getting learning materials and library books.
Kind of similar here, you can't find a lot of books around the place in rural area. So with this kind of advancement in technology and by making accessible to information real easy, as long as they have a reliable device to download.
Alchemy ICT Consultants was engaged in setting up the e-library and the ICT services. Students living within the 40-kilometer transmission range can have access to the students' hotspot, which will help them to do their homework, research and studies.
We're going to be giving the same privilege to only the boarding students, but also students that all step outside law, with outside law, sleep outside and come in, and by all two can access him. House, make him easy. So the whole entire thing, people make him now here, its cost is only met by the school. Company, we are not invoice him school, it's totally pro bono.
Meanwhile, More than 200 grade 10s have graduated at Kunabao High School yesterday. Despite being a new school, it has already produced the best students to national high schools in the country. Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
Much needed support has been given to boost service delivery for the Catholic missionaries in Papua New Guinea. The recipient missionary organizations are Sisters of Charity of St. Anne, Missionaries of Charity Port Moresby, St. Gregory the Great Parish Sogeri, and the Catholic Archdiocese of Leh.
In what may seem like a small meet and greet event yesterday to signify an extension of support, TradeLink International Limited augmented the service in the country by donating 5 mini-3-wheeler vehicles valued at a total of 90,000 kina to 4 missionary organizations.
I truly hope and believe that these vehicles will go a long way in helping services delivery by the respective organizations.
Seeing the constraint in effective service delivery for each charity organization, the support would go a long way for the organizations to perform their daily activities. The mini-3-wheeler vehicles are manufactured by Force Motors in India, which form a substantial portion of light commercial vehicle segment.
These vehicles are manufactured by Force Motors in India, and they have a single-cylinder 4-stroke diesel engine vehicle, and it has a carrying capacity of 560 kilograms. And TradeLink believes in the concept of giving back to the society.
The vehicles are expected to be a great help to the recipients in their service delivery to each of their societies around the country.
Today I'm very happy to be one of the recipients to receive 2 vehicles from TradeLink International. It shows that they care about the community which they serve. The community where they are.
TradeLink International Limited provides innovative logistical solutions on behalf of global land and SME clients with an extensive reach to more than 100 countries. Annette Cora, National EMTV News.
The Health Secretary, Dr. Osborne Liko, has challenged the Morbe Provincial Health Authority to create adequate positions for health professionals. Dr. Liko was the guest speaker at the Leh Unitec School of Nursing's 14th graduation ceremony today. A total of 62 nursing students graduated with their diplomas at today's ceremony. Dr. Liko said nurses are frontliners in the delivery of health services in the country and should be provided with adequate job opportunities. He also stressed the importance of maintaining a well-trained workforce for the delivery of quality health services throughout the country. And as the newly appointed Health Secretary, Dr. Liko aims to align health services with the National Health Plan, which is incorporated with the Universal Health Coverage.
Reflect the pains and sufferings of our people in the far remote and even in the mountains and valleys where accessibility to health services is very, very difficult, even in the atolls. But consider that the universal health coverage into a national health plan, we are looking at the platforms. The platform means the service deliverables within the, from the village setting into the 8 posts, into a community health post and health sub-centers, the rank and file of the health system to district hospitals and then the provincial hospitals. So what we want to do is how we can deliver the health service, the accessibility of quality health services in that platform in those respective health services. So those are our overarching the health plan. And then we underpin that into the National Health Service Standards in terms of looking at the facility, quality of facilities, looking at the total number of workforce that can give the adequate health coverage.
And now looking at the NASFund market report, the kina closed unchanged at $0.2850 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina is buying $0.2775 US, $0.3699 Australian dollars, $0.2209 euro, and 28.23 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading lower, coffee closed higher, cocoa and copper closed lower. Crude oil is trading lower, palm oil and copper closed lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 104.09 points higher. The ASX 200 is trading at 40.77 points higher, and the All Ordinaries is trading at 43.22 points higher. National EMTV News will return with more stories after these messages. Don't go away. Welcome back to the news. Madang residents are frustrated over the poor state of the town roads. Resident Joko Rondume says road infrastructure should become a priority for both the provincial and national government. Martha Louise reports from Madang.
This is how the Madang town roads look on a Sunday. Both motorists and the public use this road daily. EMTV spoke to residents today who are annoyed by the poor state of the roads and the negligence of both the provincial and national governments. Joko Rondume said the success of any new development depends on road infrastructure, and it is vital that local authorities give it the attention it needs.
Nowadays, almost look like how by road and priority belum benefit longam. Kanu some all mama belum la market overcome. All I know place all walk on them kali call on them lolo. You know that benefit the province belum la road mas nama swamla priority blow kata. Kanu some especially today's government must look like this la.
Francis Kasarat asked who is responsible for fixing the roads. While the Provincial Works Department's role is to fix the roads, their presence has been minimal.
We really have to question our leaders. Where are they? Are they hiding in Waigani?
EMTV had contacted the local MP Brian Kramer via his Facebook account for comments. Kramer says he is waiting on the Department of Works to sign a document to allow Madang District Development Authority to take the lead in the awarding of the contract and implementation of the work in consultation and supervision with the Department of Works.
Madang town bagarap, plant the potholes, big dust na. All member need to come work together, bring him to service camp, mas rejim tarol lo Madang.
Kramer says rural districts will be repaired by the Madang District Development Authority under the District Services Improvement Program, or DSIP. A 10 million kina funding for the town roads has been appropriated under the Department of Works as the implementing agency following recent discussions with the Department of Works. From the discussion, it was agreed that the Madang District Development Authority will take the lead in implementing the maintenance on repair and maintenance on town roads. Martha Louise, National EMTV News, Madang.
The National Airports Corporation has released a statement advising the travelling public of the completion of Stage 1 maintenance for Tokua Airport to allow movement of travellers during the peak period. Tokua Airport had closed off for full maintenance in 2 stages, but NAC says Stage 2 will be put on hold until after the peak period of travel. NAC says to protect the pavements and to ensure that it is not damaged, only aircraft similar to ATR 72 and Q400 will be allowed to operate into Tokua. Both aircrafts can carry around 74 passengers each, which NAC says should help during this period. Stage 2 of the maintenance will resume after the new year. NAC reaffirms that its priority is the safety of the aircraft and passengers in and out of Tokua Airport, further appealing for understanding and patience from the travelling public during this time as it works towards completing this urgent maintenance on the runway. Turning overseas, the eyes of the world are on the United Kingdom, waking up to the second day of COVID-19 immunization, the first country in the world to roll out a vaccine. First in line are those over the age of 80 and some healthcare workers.
A landmark moment in the global fight against COVID-19.
I don't know what to say. It's just overwhelming, I suppose, really.
This 90-year-old English woman, the first in the world to receive the Pfizer jab outside of trials in the biggest vaccination program in British history.
It's free, and it's the best thing that's ever happened at the moment, so please go for it.
81-year-old William Shakespeare playing his part too.
Can make a difference to our lives from now on, couldn't it? The start of changing our lives and our lifestyle.
The simple act of vaccination is a tribute to scientific endeavour, to human ingenuity and to the hard work of so many people.
First in line, NHS staff, care home workers and people over 80. But the bulk of the doses will be available from early next year.
It is a marathon, not a sprint. So while you are waiting to be called for your vaccine, please keep following the social distancing rules.
The United Kingdom's the first in the world to approve and start using the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. Stored in special freezers at -70 degrees, the rollout is taking place at hospitals first, with work underway to safely transport batches to care homes. The virus has infected more than 1.7 million people across the UK. More than 62,000 have died, 616 in the last 24 hours alone.
With the UK recording Europe's highest death toll from the virus and reeling from the economic fallout of repeated lockdowns, it now faces the logistical challenge of rolling out the vaccine across the country of 67 million people, amid concern that the end-of-year holidays could spur a new wave of infections.
Another challenge, convincing everyone to get it.
I know that there are loads of people who count themselves anti-vaxxers. That's totally the wrong approach. It's safe, it's the right thing to do.
As for Margaret, she'll be back in 21 days for a second jab to give her full protection. Perhaps the best possible gift this winter.
True Guy Sports is next. Fiddly Sukina has the details.
Yes, Helen, Lihir Islanders represented in the recent National Athletics Championships, and the Hunters set to relocate. Those stories in True Guy Sports when we come back.
True Guy Sports.
Good night and welcome to True Guy Sports. Athletes from Lihir in New Ireland Province who took part in the Athletics Championships last weekend displayed strong performances in their first ever national competition. The team had only 5 athletes, with 4 junior athletes and 1 in the open men's category. Despite challenges, the team represented the island for the championship. There is always the passion for a particular sport, and for these 5 athletes it's athletics. Coming from a small island like Lihir, there is not much infrastructure for athletics, but there is always the grass track and a bit of estimation on timing.
From the grass track, mi plakat 100 meter track tasol lahat. Mi planokat 400 track facilities lo happy nokat enough facilities. So misa makem tasol track 100 meter na, then osem 400 misa estimate tasol. Sabos all run this lakain time lo 100 meters, misa tokimol. You can run the 100 lo, this 400 lo, this lakain timing.
Freddie Hongowori from Siwai in the autonomous region of Bougainville is a former Team PNG athlete in middle distance track, and when offered a job in Lihir, decided to start an athletics club. A qualified level 1 athletics coach, he started training these primary school students and others interested in track.
Philip Ryder, lo PNG Athletics Union na, give me recognition letter lo start athletics lo Lihir na. Last year me go, this year COVID kikam, idaon me pla. Me been got almost 38 athletes.
He since had gained recognition from Athletics PNG, and the team traveled to the New Guinea Islands Athletics Championships, and their trip to Port Moresby is one to broaden their horizons in their respective track events.
At least all come out na film this la, feeling lo expose him go out, gain him experience, go back, pamplasenis him some kind lifestyle lo island.
There were supposed to be 15 athletes, but due to the shortage of funding for travel, only these 5 athletes took part in this year's national championships. Moses Jona, Nathan Binding, Matthias Batabe, Joel Tobui and Elijah Lepan took part in the under-16 and under-18 categories and the open men's, even reaching the finals. A great experience for the first-time athletes at the national championships.
First time blomilo blomi disla team lir lakamatenim ka national championship. So without lo coach lumplay plano napkam. So fam plano sa plano win seronim ron lo track plus ron lo grass chol. So now I'm first time blomi plano lo kam experience him track na. So main purpose lumla lo kam just lo sim experience na. At least we've some experience now.
Athletes also managed to visit sites in the city of Port Moresby and also visited PNG Kidney Foundation office on Monday for their health and well-being. The team left for Lihir on Tuesday. With a time of 10.57 seconds in the 100 meters finals on Saturday, Leroy Kamau came close to the national record in Papua New Guinea. He blitzed the competition on Saturday, running what his coach Nelson Stone says is the second fastest time on record so far after the national record by Peter Pulu of 10.4, posted in 1995. Kamau even went further, winning the 200 meters and 400 meter finals, capping off a tremendous outing for the Nest Athletics Club. Leroy Kamau is 21 years old and over the weekend made an impressive 10.57 seconds in the 100 meters, almost breaking the national record of 10.4 held by Peter Pulu since 1995. Kamau is coached by former 200 meter and 400 meter Papua New Guinea athlete Nelson Stone, who was proud of Kamau's effort.
10.57 seconds. I think he's second on the all-time list now behind Peter Pulu's national record. But Leroy is very young. He's just starting to get to where we want him to be. He just ran a really fast time. As a coach, I'm really proud. He made our club, Team Nest, really proud of him. It was a really final.
Stone says he and Kamau worked hard during the lockdown period to revive his athletic career, and it paid off.
Well, actually, he was a junior champion in 2017. But after that, he faded away big time from the sport, and he left athletics. I brought him back last year, so he's been training under me since late last year, and all throughout this year. Throughout the 2 lockdowns, I had big plans for him. I knew, we would come to this stage, and I trained him all throughout the year. This was expected.
Kamau also beat Nelson Stone's best time in the 200 meters during the 2015 Pacific Games. Kamau breaking the record during the 200 meters final in the West New Britain Provincial Championships this year.
PNG Athletics, especially in the men's sprinting, we are very strong in the 400. We've been missing out in the 100 meter for quite a long time. And now I believe with Leroy running fast times like this, I think PNG sprinting, especially in the 100 meter, is really back on track now. And our job now is to try to maintain people like Leroy and whoever that we can support now, and try to get them up and maintain their performance and build on from there. But definitely Leroy Kamau is set to be a big star, and I'm proud to be.
To cap off a stunning performance over the weekend, he also won gold in the 400 meters and the 200 meters as well. A joint workshop by PNGOC and Athletics PNG is currently underway in the nation's capital after a successful National Athletics Championship held over the weekend.
After the successful National Athletics Tournament over the weekend, a coaching and administration workshop is currently underway, conducted by Athletics PNG in partnership with PNG Olympics Committee. The workshop falls under the PNGOC OSAP programs, in which PNGOC recognizes the need for raising the standards of administration of sports and the need for technical capacity building. A facilitator of the program, Mr. Philip Kaname from the National Sports Institute in Goroka, indicated with the need of increasing the number of athletes in the country, technical capacity building is important.
We believe that in 2021 we'll do or travels or planning training session.
Two-time gold medalist in the Oceania Championship and the Pacific Games, Nelson Stone, who has now ventured into coaching, says the workshop is a great boost to his endeavour.
This is to enhance my skill as a coach going forward, and I'm sure this will really help me going forward in the sport of athletics.
Poro Gehekave, gold medalist in the 2019 Pacific Games, was also amongst the participants.
I've learned a lot of things. One is how to organize and organizing. To organize a sport, it has to be organized. And about gender equity in sports.
Representatives from Kokopo, Leh, Goroka, Mount Hagen and other parts of the country are currently in the workshop. The workshop will conclude this Friday, 11th of December 2020. Kilawani, Trukai Sports.
And Trukai Sports continues with Rugby League after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. There is not much talk among the SPPNG Hunters, train-on squad and the coach about the relocation, but Coach Matthew Church says that the team will have job and education opportunities once relocated. He added that there is no COVID-19 bubble for the team, and the team will be waiting on the Queensland Rugby League to give them further advice close to the start of the season. SPPNG Hunters coach Matthew Church says relocating to southeast Queensland is a huge sacrifice by the team, and they need to be rewarded well.
The training is as per usual. There will be some more conversations in the coming weeks. They're all obviously making a huge sacrifice for the betterment of the game in PNG, so we need to reward them for that. So I'm looking into some education and some work placement while we're down there. So I need to find out and have conversations with individuals about what that looks like for that person, because I think it's a great opportunity for us to go down there, but also when we come back as better Papua New Guineans.
Church adds that having players who have travelled, lived and played overseas will help the team settle down well, and also having the PNG community in Queensland providing hospitality will help the players feel and have a sense of home.
Well, we've got a number of guys in the squad that have actually spent some time overseas, so I think their inclusion is to come back into our squad and to be able to guide the guys about what life is like outside of PNG. I think as a general rule the boys are enjoying the fact that they're going to relocate for 7 months, so I think also we need to make sure that they're connected to their culture when they're down there, so engaging some Queensland PNG communities down there to be in and around our program and to do some stuff in line with culture, so they feel that connection to home.
Chad said that there is no real COVID bubble for the Hunters, but the team and management will have to wait for further information from Queensland Rugby League.
With the IS Intra-Super Cup season, you can't really have a bubble because all the guys work part-time, so there will be some COVID plans. I don't know what that looks like just at the moment, but if they're going to have NRL players feeding back into the Intra-Super Cup, then we need to meet minimum standard of that, so that'll be circulated closer to when we start playing. It's an ever-changing environment, and at the moment, just the only ones that we need to meet is that we need to have COVID tests prior to departure from PNG, and then do our 14 days isolation once we land. So.
The Gilue Rugby League in Tambul Nebilia, Western Highlands Province, played their knockouts with 8 teams taking part. 4 teams have qualified for semi-finals next Sunday, and the grand final winner will challenge the Leh Snakes Tigers in a friendly match as one of their new feeder clubs.
In the knockouts match between the Guillermo Pythons and the Comca Scorpions, drop balls were constant in the first half due to a heavy downpour. The match remained scoreless in the first half. In the second half, the Guillermo Pythons completed their set plays and scored the winning try in the remaining 20 minutes. The conversion was unsuccessful, but with strong defense, the Pythons won the match 4 points to 0. The other match between the Warriors and Hawks, ball security was costly, but the Warriors proved their strength with kicks and line breaks to score their first try with a missed conversion kick. The Hawks maintained defense and played until the remaining seconds before full-time to cross over for a try to level the game. The Gilwell Rugby League officials will make a decision whether for the Warriors and Hawks to play for a golden point or full match.
Gilwell Rugby League by working tubla team and back around low late next nines low play selection blong next Tigers.
Vastinata Yama, Trukai Sports.
And that story wraps up Trukai Sports. Helen will be back with the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. Bye for now.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
A look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region. Find partly cloudy weather with chances of afternoon thundery showers in Port Moresby. Occasional rain showers easing in Daru. Cloudy with rain showers imminent in Kerema. Cloudy with occasional rain showers and thunder in Alotau. And occasional rain showers and thunder in Popondita.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
And that's the news, sport and weather for Wednesday, the 9th of December 2020. From all of us here at the newsroom, pleasant viewing. Be safe. Bye for now.